education into the homes of pupils around the world. Nisai Global School combines the best of British tradition with the future of education. Nisai Global School delivers a Cambridge International accredited curriculum from lower secondary to Cambridge International A-levels. We strive to provide every learner with a holistic and personalized learning experience so that they can fulfill their potential. Students experience both structured and self-paced learning activities with a complete school program in an online platform, the Nisai Virtual Academy. Each pupil, with their own secure username and password, can access all the functions of the school: personalized timetable, house points, announcement board, school email to keep in touch with classmates and teachers, many more. My Courses is where students access their virtual classrooms, as well as learning materials. All lessons are recorded, so pupils can always review the lesson recording. My Folder is where students can download, complete and upload homework and assignments. The Chill Out Zone is a place where pupils from around the world join social clubs and communicate with each other. Students can also seek support from the school office on health, safety, community, and their future at the Wellbeing Centre. We always promote the progression of each pupil. Dedicated teachers, form tutors, and the customer and student support CAST team support students to achieve their ambitions through personalized learning outcomes. Our live online lessons are delivered in a virtual classroom by qualified teachers, a maximum of 15 pupils per class. Classes are grouped by the student's ability and level of comprehension, so teachers can provide more personalized attention, more one-on-one contact with students. Lessons are always engaging and fully interactive. They use a headset to hear the teacher, see a PowerPoint presentation, and participate either verbally using a microphone or by typing in the chat box. At the end of every lesson, the teacher sets a homework assignment. All assignments are marked with detailed feedback. Our online school platform provides a comprehensive reporting suite, allowing partners, customers, and parents at any time to check on a student's attendance and participation, homework submissions, grades, and end-of-term reports, alongside automated non-attendance alerts. Partners, customers, and parents can also log in to their own portal to contact staff at any time for specific queries.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for your time to join the event today, Nisai A to Z, which is hosted by Nisai Global School. I'm Alan, an IGCSE student, the class of 2022. It's my honor to be the MC of this event. I hope that we can have a good time together and have more understanding about Nisai Global School, as well as receive some special prize at the end of the event. Furthermore, it would be easier for us if your Zoom name would change to the student's name for checking attendance purposes. Thank you. Nisai A to Z is a special event for all parents and students who are wondering about Nisai Global School, as well as finding suitable learning environments. Understanding that issue, today we are very happy to deliver a session which provides all the information about our student services and extracurricular activities. Before heading to the main part of the event, I would like to please guest as speaker, Ms. Jade Hawk, SEN, Student Welfare, EHCP Administrator, and designated professional for looked after children of Nisai UK. Ms. Hazel Duck, Enrichment Coordinator of Nisai Asia. Thank you so much for joining the event with us today. We are looking forward to your sharing in the coming next part. Dear parents and students, Our event today will have three main parts. Part 1 is sharing from Ms. Jade Hawk about our student services. Part 2 is sharing from Ms. Hazel Duck about our extracurricular activities. And part 3 is the Q&A. Now, let's move to the first part of our event. Please welcome Ms. Jade Hawk to deliver an overview of our student services from Nisai UK.
Very good afternoon from the United Kingdom. So my name is Jade and I am a member of the student support team in the UK. Prior to joining the team at Nisai, I was a teacher of GCSE English and A-level law in a mainstream college. So I'm in the very fortunate position of knowing how things work on both sides, so both teaching and in student support. I'm going to give you a very brief overview of the kind of support that the UK student support team offer. We have a very different cohort of students here in the United Kingdom with us. So students are generally with us because they are unable to access mainstream education due to their barriers to learning. Some of these barriers might include special educational needs, social or emotional difficulties, or health needs, whether that be physical or mental health. For these students, there is equal priority placed on academic and pastoral support, as we understand that for some students, it can be more about re-engaging them with education and building confidence as opposed to academic attainment, at least in the very beginning. I'll now take you through some of the pastoral support that we offer within the UK student support team, as well as other activities available to our students. So we have a student wellbeing officer, and students can access one-to-one sessions with our student wellbeing officer. These sessions are available to students who might be struggling with their mental health or going through a rough time due to things going on in their personal lives. It's a really good opportunity for them to just get things off their chest and share their worries with someone in a safe space. Talking things through with a trusted person can help students to feel better just by being able to share their thoughts. And our student wellbeing officer may be able to offer advice and guidance relating to their problem. These sessions aren't designed to replace talking therapies though, and we would always recommend students to seek professional help if they need it. Anything that's disclosed that raises concerns in regards to safeguarding is reported and followed up in accordance with our safeguarding policy. We also offer careers information and guidance sessions. So students can arrange careers sessions with either myself or a lady called Amy, who also works in student support. These sessions can cover anything from picking future courses to study at Nisai, to helping students identify potential career paths and outlining the steps that they would need to take in order to get there. We can also help students to look at their next steps following on from Nisai, whether that be studying at further education college or moving on to university. A lot of the times these sessions are about providing reassurance to students, particularly if they're feeling a little bit lost or they don't know what they would like to do as a career, which is very often the case for our students in the UK due to their particular needs and barriers to education. The vast majority of our students haven't followed the traditional path of education. They very often don't know what options are available to them, or they get fixated on what they think that they should be doing next. However, that path might not necessarily be suitable for them. So Amy and I will use those sessions to kind of temper expectations, help them make realistic plans and offer support in researching their options so that they can get there. Another thing that we offer is university counselling sessions. So students can arrange to speak to, again, myself or Amy. And we can help students identify in these sessions what kind of courses they might want to study, and to help them research universities that will fit their requirements or their wish list. We also support students throughout the entire application process, from filling in the application form to helping them write their supporting statement. We'll read through drafts of their statement and provide personalised feedback to ensure that they have the best possible chance of being offered a place at their chosen institutions. We also provide references for students, whether that be for university or college. Students can also arrange these sessions with us to ask questions about university, such as how they can finance their tuition or what university life might be like. So moving on to the Form Tutor, all students are allocated a Form Tutor when they join Nisai. So that the role of the Form Tutor is to track and monitor attendance and assignments for all the students within their tutor group, and then relay any concerns to parents and to the student support team for us to follow up. The tutor's also there as a point of contact for both the student and their parent or caregiver, and it's an opportunity for them to discuss any worries or concerns that they might have. The Form Tutor checks in with the student every week to make sure that everything's going okay, and it just provides students with another adult within Nisai who they can go to when things are bothering them. I actually was fortunate enough to have a tutor group last year, and I really enjoyed connecting with my tutees, hearing about what they'd been up to in their spare time, things they'd been doing at the weekend, holidays that they'd been on. It was really wonderful to hear from them, and it sort of made my week really. So it's a nice thing that we have here. Moving on to the chill out zone. So the chill out zone is an online forum where students can connect with each other over shared interests. It's a really good way for our students to socialise with each other and meet others who might not necessarily share classes, but they have similar interests. The chill out zone is monitored by staff to ensure that students remain safe and that personal information isn't shared, just so that we keep in line with our safeguarding policy. Interest groups in the chill out zone include things like anime, cookery, books, gaming, and my personal favourite is Critter Corner, which is where staff and students often post pictures of their pets. So we also have a homework club that runs twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays at 3:45 until 4:30. These sessions are attended by teachers on a rotation basis, meaning that students can see when their teacher or a teacher of that particular subject that they might have an assignment for will be at homework club. So they can choose to then attend that particular session if they're stuck with something. It works really well for our students who like to keep a divide between school and free time, as it means that they can complete assignments within a designated time, and it can help them to feel as if homework doesn't encroach into their kind of home life, personal life, which is really important with an online school such as Nisai, where a lot of these students are doing their lessons from home. So it just helps to keep that divide. We also run regular competitions to mark special occasions such as Mental Health Week, Earth Day, Science Week, etc., where students are encouraged to get involved. These competitions might involve getting students to write a poem about mental health, or creating a piece of artwork for Earth Day. We encourage students to be creative in their submissions. We did have a student this year who baked a cake as their competition entry. So we've had people bake biscuits, cakes, which is always really nice to see. The students are awarded house points for taking part, and you also get house points for winning and for being a runner-up. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into Nisai UK and the student support team here. And I will do my very best to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you all for your time today, and a big thank you to the team for all of their hard work in organising the event.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jade, for your sharing from Nisai UK. And now moving on with the other parts. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm Hazel. Yes, and currently I'm working as a enrichment coordinator under Nisai Global School. And today I'm going to share about the enrichment program currently offered by the school, as well as the customer and student care and support under Nisai Global School. First of all, about the enrichment program. So in order to provide you a better picture of what the program includes and how the program is delivered, so I would like to present it in a form of a demonstration in an activity which will include the participation of students, currently Nisai students as well. So it's like an oral discussion of Talk Fest with the topic of Skill Up program. So what are they to join? Okay. So now I would like to ask Ayumi first. So can you name me one extracurricular activity or learning support at Nisai?
Maybe the clubs and the talk fest.
Mhm. Clubs as a talk fest, right? Yeah, thank you. What about Chosa? Are there any? Yep.
Well, there's also youth success, but
Mm.
and the public speaking skills, which you already listed, are in the clubs, and there are also homework help out, like the homework drop-in and the exam drop-in, I think.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Yes, and what about Mohits? What about you? Are there any
Yes,
other clubs or activities?
innovation club or coding club.
Yes, Innovation Club and Coding Club. Yes, I see. So yes, they are in the skill up program as well. Yep. So here, yep, yeah. So for this one today, we're gonna look deeper into the skill up program. They include more activities than that. So I'm going to go over 3 parts, which is an overview about the program, mental at the program's activity offer, and some notes for students if you would like to join. Okay, so the enrichment program provided by Nisai Global School is titled Skill Up Program. So it's a program like for Nisai student exclusively with 3 aims. The first one is to introduce and enhance essential study skills and soft skills for students, to provide learning guidelines and support related to the subject knowledge, and lastly, to create a friendly and motivating environment which connects Nisai students regionally and internationally. And these programs are coordinated by UK teachers, by exam officers, and by student support team who are skilled and experienced in organizing and supervising educational and extracurricular activities. Now let's have a look at the activity offer. Yes. First of all, about the learning support. So Ms. G also mentioned some activity already, which is a homework drop-in, right? So there is another activity provided for IGCSE, IES, and A-level student. It is exam drop-in. So at today's section, a scheduled section for students of these level to provide the answer for any question about the exam, to prepare student about the information about the exam or some tips for the exams, and is delivered by the exam officer. And yes, a homework drop-in is where a student can get more guidance and support from the teachers about difficult topics of the subjects they are studying at Nisai. Next one, for the UPass peer mentor. So this activity is scheduled weekly with 3 subjects, English, Maths, and Science. So it is organized based on a student pairing up, which means that high-scoring student will provide learning support, like they will give the answer, they will instruct the low-scoring and new student about difficult subjects, or they can give the keys to the assignment, the mock assignment for the student, re-explain the topics for the other student. Yep. And next one, the next activity is past paper. It's another activity exclusively for students at IGCSE, AS, A-level as well. So basically, the mentors of the club will give out the past paper of the exams, and the student will do and submit their work to the mentors. And after that, the marking scheme will be provided and some feedback will be provided as well. The last activity in learning support is the youth success. So it is a learning series to help equip and enhance students' study skills and soft skills. Yep. So students will, so it is scheduled on Saturday afternoon, like the end time, for students to join, and then they will learn about these skills. So now I would like to ask, yes, maybe Lei Huang, yes, Aileen. Yep. So I know that you are an IGCSE student, right? So can you share about the activities that you have taken part in?
I have joined the exam drop-in, homework drop-in, and past paper in Nisai Global School.
Yeah, so can you share more about the activity? Like what do you do and what kind of support do you get from the teachers and from the mentors there?
Firstly, I want to tell all of you about the homework drop-in. Homework drop-in has all teachers will help me to do all the homework that I have some difficult or I have problems. They will explain for me everything that I should know, and they send for me about the links, about website or books or knowledge that for me to practice more for that question to ready for the exam if the exam have the types of question. And past paper, with past paper all teachers and supporter from Nisai gave us or the IGCSE students the exams from other years in the past for us to practice and know about the structure of an exam. So by this past paper I can practice all my knowledge and I can remember them, and I have a really good plan to make sure that with that structure of an exam I can do my best and in a limit of time. And the exam drop-in, all teachers like will help us to answer and to correct for our past paper that we have done before, and they will answer for all our questions when we go to the British Council Vietnam to have an exam, IGCSE exam. So I think that with this exam drop-in I have a really nice and a really good test trip to Hanoi. So I think exam drop-in helps me pretty much about my exam doing. So I had got a high score. I'm really happy for that.
Oh, that's great to hear from your sharing. Thank you, Aileen. And what about Ayumi? Like, what about the activities that you have taken part in? And can you share about the activities as well? Like, what did you do there? And what did you learn in these activities?
Okay, I have joined the UXSS sessions. I remember we did some like talking. We did some like conversations and talked about really deep topics.
Yes. So, do you remember any topics that that has been covered in your success? And what about the skills that you learned?
Well, I think like the UXSS ones are kind of similar to the TOEFL ones, so sorry if I get the topics confused. But I think one of them was wealth and happiness, maybe.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ayumi. Yes. And now moving on to the clubs and activities. Yes, I think for this part, you will have more experience on this as well, because this is a place for you to socialize with your friends, right? Sharing the same interest. Okay. So about extracurricular activities, first one, the chill out zone that has been mentioned by Ms. Jade. It's about a place for students socialize in forum format. And then we also offer the other clubs as well. And these clubs are organized, have scheduled with an online meeting section every Saturday. Okay. First of all, about the Talk Fest. So it's an open speaking forum for students to raise their voice about contemporary topics. Like students will come together and then they will we will have question for them to discuss, to share their thoughts on it. Next one is an innovation club. Is a place for students keen on making arts and craft. So basically, the student will create some creative products. For example, like designing a poster or like drawing a picture about a theme given. Yep. And the book club is a place for book lovers who has a love for reading and especially the English books as well, to share their thoughts and to review the books that are their favorites. Okay. Debate clubs is a place for those who want to learn more about debating skills. So students will practice debating in following the World School Debates model. Yep. The public speaking club is a club for students to learn and then improve their public speaking skills. And lastly, the coding club is a place for students, like for those who like to program. So they want basically work in group to make a project. For example, like designing a game or programming a game using some coding platform. So now I would like to invite some of the students to share about the experience. So let's hear from Alex. Zhang, right? Yes, Alex. So can you tell me about the clubs that you are currently like joining and what have you done there?
Well, I've joined the book club and the public speaking club, but the book club was to join. I joined like lately because it was almost to the end, and like I joined, so I only got the chance to like read one book, but it was a really good book, and it was about a schoolgirl called Rhea in Switzerland, I think, and she went on a strike and almost quit school to protest about global warming. It's a really interesting book and you guys should check it out. And anybody who's like read it before should try and read it again because I think it's a really good book and it also taught me a lot of things.
Oh, that's great to hear from you about your experience. And what about Savannah? Savannah, yes. Can you tell us more about like your experience with the clubs here? Like which one did you join?
I joined the public speaking club. The public speaking club is divided into some session. I joined the one from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Friday. So in the meeting, we usually present our slides, and at the end of our presentation, other members and our teacher will give some comments on what we like about the presentation, or maybe some suggestions on things we could work on so that we can improve on the next presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Savannah. And I would like to hear from one more student. What about Mohit? You mentioned about the coding club and innovation one before, right? So can you share with us about your
Yes,
experience?
I don't go to coding club, but I go to innovation club, and my experience there is kind of good because the projects were fun to make, and the teachers were kind, and it was fun to talk with the students. And if I need any help, they will help me. They are very helpful and kind.
Okay, thank you, Mohit. You mentioned about the projects. So do you remember like the topics of the projects that you need to do in Innovation Club?
There were many projects, but I was able to do a few. For example, the Chinese Lunar Festival, the Holi Festival, and the lantern making.
Okay, so thank you. Yes, so it's great to hear from all your sharings, and it's very nice that you let's learn something new and then make friends and have a very fun experience there. Okay, and now it's time for us to look back on some projects, some photos, yep, some images of the last year of the activities in the last year. So these are the books from the book club, and I think Alex has mentioned this book, right? The Greta story. It's about the girl. That's one. And students also read about the witch, the house moving castle, and Frankenstein as well. Yep. And moving on. Oh, yes. So these are from the Innovation Club when students make posters or draws according to the themes given, like the Holy Festival here or the Lunar New Year. Okay. And then, yes. So these are the screenshots from the debate clubs and the coding club. So basically they meet like once every 2 weeks in an online discussion via Zoom. So the student will share the ideas and update the progress of the projects. And because in the club, there are around like 10 to 12 students like joining in. So in order to gather all the information, we also use some kind of platform like Jamboard or Padlet to collect so the student can write their own ideas there, contribute their ideas. And it's very easy to see like that. And lastly, it's about, yes, the youth success one is about the daily plan of the student. So in the last summer term in Youth Success, students learned about the time management skill, and at the end of the term, they need to make their own plan, the daily plans, in which include the daily focus, the priorities, and the specific schedule of the day. So there are some images of the plan the student make for the summer days. Okay. And now there are some notes for the student if they would like to join the activities. Okay. So as I have mentioned before, almost all activities are organized online. Alternatively, on Saturday afternoons, it's the VN time, weekly or once every 2 weeks. But basically, every week there won't be one to three activities. Okay. And the activities, the online section will be delivered via Zoom. But we also use Skype or Google Classroom to upload the materials, to give announcement, and for students to contact their group members as well. Okay. And then after each meeting section, so comments on students' performance in the meeting section about the student contribution in the group project will be noted, and then update to parents in periodic individualized reports. Okay. And if the student would like to attend to any activities, so they will need to fill in registration forms for the clubs. Yeah. But for Youth Success and Talk Fest, they are open to all. So no registration beforehand needed. Okay. And in terms of the benefits, so the student are not, it is not compulsory for students to join in the activities, but they are encouraged. And we will recognize the contribution by giving certificates and badges if a student made excellent contribution during the term. And then, of course, as they want enhance their skills and they want have more international friends to socialize. And that is all about the Skill Up program, which is the enrichment program provided by Nisai Global School. And yes, that is the end of the demo of Talk Fest as well. Yes. Okay. And now, moving on to the second part. It's about the customer and student care and support. Yep. Okay. Okay, so this one, first of all, I would like to note that every student under Nisai Global School will be taken care by 2 school officers. The first one is house tutor, and the second one is Asia Student Success Officer. The students are in the same house will have the same house tutor, and then those enrolling in the same level like NS1, NS2, and NS3 center will have the same student success officer. And both house tutors and the student success officer will regularly track the student learning progress, which includes the attendance rates, the behavior, and the contribution scores, assignment scores, and overdue or any unattempted assignments. And all these data will be updated and stored in a school system and customer portal on a daily or weekly basis. Yep. Oh, okay. Okay, and then the data then is compiled and included in diverse reports, like including the weekly class reports sent via email to parents, the individualized reports sent in group chats for parents, so every 3 weeks. Yep. And about individualized reports, so they are detailed reports about the student academic progress and participation in the enrichment program on a 3-week basis. So because we believe that the timely updates of the student learning progress will play a crucial role for us to support the student more effectively, and for parents and students are timely aware of the progress, so that we at the school and the parents and students can cooperating for better academic results at school. And in terms of the communication, so our student support team also organize parent meetings online via Zoom periodically. So usually at the end of each term, and for one-on-one meeting sections with parents and students. Yeah, for especially for urgent and special cases when we feel like that there is a need to talk directly with the parent to update on the progress. And students encouraged to be active not only in academic study but also in competition and enrichment program, and all the contribution and hard work are recognized and awarded with house points. Okay. And excellent students will make their name to the Student of the Week on the Nisai Virtual Academy, which is a school platform, and or receive badges or certificates at the end of the term. And yes, that is all my part from the Nisai Global School. Yes, so this one.
Thank you, Ms. Hazel, and our lovely students from Nisai Global School. We hope parents and students now can understand more about our school activities as well as our support for each student. Now, before heading to the next part, please enjoy a video from our school and remember to scan the QR code on the screen to receive our lovely gift. Welcome back, parents and students. It is time for the Q&A session with our special guests, Ms. Jade Hawk and Ms. Hazel Duck. Parents and students, if you have any question, please send us a message in the chat box. We have received some questions from the registration form as well as from the private test chat. First, we will prefer to check the question in the chat box first. One question from private text chat. Does Nisai have any support in exam registration? I think this question will be for Ms. Jade.
Thank you. Yeah, so Nisai is not a registered exam centre. So what that means is, especially for students in the UK, is that any student being referred over to us, it is up to the person making the referral to source the exam centre. So we have an exams officer who can support them in locating an exam centre and can kind of point them in the right direction in terms of forms that they need to fill in. But the actual arranging of the exam centre is the responsibility of the person making the referral. We do offer in the UK online exams for functional skills, but that's the only kind of exams that we offer at the moment. For anything else, like for GCSE, it would need to be sourced externally.
Thanks for your answer, Miss Jade. And another question is, how long does a normal extracurricular class activity last? Are there any certificates for extracurricular activities? I wish Miss Hazel will answer this question.
Yes, okay, thank you. So for this question, for the very first part about the length, the duration of extracurricular activities. So usually for the activities, the clubs and activities that have the Zoom meeting section, so the meeting section will last for 1 hour per week. Like, yes, it's a meeting section only, but after that, after the meeting section or before the meeting section, the students don't need to work together if they have the project as well. Yeah. And like for the project of the clubs, the activities, so usually it was last for 1 term. Yeah. And for the second part, are there any certificates? Oh, yes. So if a students are active member, if they made excellent contribution to the collaborative activities, they will receive the certificates and the badges as well. Yeah, but it depends on the contribution of the students. Yeah. So it's not like a lot of the student won't join and at the end they won't get the certificates, but it depends on the contribution made to the activities. Yes.
Thank you for Ms. Hazel answer. And another question: are the extracurricular activities online only? So another question for Ms. Hazel, please.
Yes. So for now, so extracurricular activities are delivered entirely online, like via Zoom and like via other platform as well. Yes. So at locally, we have organized some offline event as well, but periodically, like usually at the end of the term. Yeah. But it's just locally, but it's not applied for all of the extracurricular activities.
Thank you, Ms. Hazel. And another question is, will Nisai open the camera during lessons? So I wish Ms. Jade will answer this question.
Yeah, so the online classrooms at Nisai, there is no webcam facility at all. So there's no webcams at all during lessons. The microphones are automatically set to off. When learners join the classroom, they can request to the teacher for the microphone to be opened, and then the teacher can do that from their side. But there's no webcams at all.
Thank you for Ms. Jade answer. And another question: can students other than Nisai enroll in extracurricular activities programs? I wish Ms. Hazel will answer.
Oh, okay. Yes, for the extracurricular activities. So as I mentioned, it's exclusively for Nisai students. So if like the student from outside that they cannot join, yep, for now, that they need to study at Nisai to join the activities. And I would like to add something more about like the question of the webcam right before. Yeah. So this one, like sometimes like because the lesson at Nisai usually lasts for 30 minutes. But the learning contents are pretty heavy. So in order for students to focus on the lesson, so usually like the school do not say like sets the camera on there's no function for feature for that. And because the lessons are delivered online, which means like sometimes the internet can get bad, right? Yeah. So like turning on the camera will, that worsen that problem. They can like might create some problems about the internet connection. That's why the school will like don't set the camera on for the student. Yep. And that's for me. Yes.
Thank you for Ms. Hazel answer, and please come to the next question. Do the teachers moderate the skill up program, extracurricular activity, or does it run entirely by the student or support staff of Nisai? So I wish Ms. Hazel will answer.
Yeah. So I would say that it depends on the activities. For example, the learning support activities. So the homework drop-in, it's delivered by the UK teachers. Yes, on rotation basis. For exam drop-in, is delivered by the exam officer who are an expert on the field. Yes, and for the other activities, usually the club, so they are monitored by the staff as well. But for the online meeting section, if you would like to ask, they are delivered and monitored by the student support team. And yes, that's for me. And then one more thing I would like to add is that the student supporting also need to like complete a training about the teacher training, yeah, for the UK as well. Yeah.
Thank you for the answer, Ms. Hazel. And for the next question, how you support the student with both study at public school and Nisai? So I wish both Ms. Jade and Ms. Hazel will answer this question. But firstly, I wish Ms. Jade will answer first.
So generally speaking, as I mentioned before, that students in the UK are with us because they cannot access mainstream education, whether that be because they are too poorly to attend, or whether they have other barriers to learning that stop them from accessing public school. So a lot of the time, in fact, vast majority of the time, students who are with us in the UK, we are their education provider. It might be that they attend a public school that they are on roll with to access their online lessons, but we don't tend to have students who are attending other providers. If they are attending other providers, then it's a case of finding out when their lessons are at the school or the college that they physically have to attend, and then we can put the relevant authorizations in place to meet so that they don't get unauthorized absences for the lessons with Nisai that they miss if they clash. The lessons are all recorded, so any lessons that students do miss, they can go back into the MVA and watch that lesson recording, and if they have any questions, they're more than welcome to email the teacher with regards to that particular recording. But generally speaking, in the UK, the students who are with us are just with us. They're not with anybody else.
Okay, yes, and thank you, Jaden. From my side, I would like to ask that for student attending like public school and Nisai, so we provide support first in terms of the timetable, like because we have quite flexible timetable with different time slots, so student can choose which one is suitable to their time. Yes, so they don't need to go to the fixed schedule, but they can choose. They at least will provide the selection for them to choose from. Yep. And the second thing is that, yes, as Ms. Jess mentioned, that Nisai provides the recording. So if a student cannot attend the lesson, or if they can't attend a lesson either during the term or just 1 or 2 lessons, they can always watch the recordings and find the materials that they're all available online, so they can get access anytime, anywhere. Yep.
Thank you, Ms. Hazel and Ms. Jay, for the answer. So I will also want to answer this question a little bit, because I am one of lots of students in Nisai Global School, learn both public school and Nisai. So mostly Nisai's class will help us. The student in public school will be fit, and mostly the class are at night or the late in the afternoon, like the evening. So mostly all our class are really like in all our free time we can learn it, and mostly the classes in Nisai just 30 minutes long, so it is not really a long time, so we can learn just for a short time. So Nisai help all the students from public school will learn in their most free time, and we can choose the class that in our free time. So I think Nisai help us a lot in this problem. So for the next question, my son is with Nisai appearing for O level, and we are in India, Delhi. How do we go about the exam center for the exam 2023? So this question, I wish Miss Jade will answer.
It's not really my area of expertise. I have nothing to do with exams. It would be probably a case of speaking to our exams officer, but she is very on the ball, and chances are she will reach out in terms of getting an exam centre sorted. Josephine she's very much on the case with these things. I don't know, with it being Delhi, whether it would come under Nisai Asia or whether it would come under Josephine, but it's unfortunately that's not kind of my area, so I'm not equipped to answer that question, unfortunately.
Thank you, Ms. Jade, for the answer. And for another question, can both Ms. Jade and Ms. Hazel explain why Nisai Global School cannot turn on the webcam?
So in lessons, it's the lessons are carried out via an online classroom, and the online classroom just does not have the facility for a webcam. It's just not built into it. Hazel, I don't know if you want to take the extracurricular side of things.
Yes, for the classrooms, I think the Ms. J has explained. And for the extracurricular, and it depends on the clubs as well, but for the clubs with the meeting Zoom section, so yes, the student can turn on the camera, and we encourage them to turn on the camera. Yes, just for it, because the classroom, as I mentioned earlier, that because the student are studying academically, right, and the learning contents are quite happy for them, and we do it for the students' sake. It's for them to focus on the learning contents, and to ensure that the internet connection working properly as well.
Thank you, Ms. Jade and Ms. Hazel, for the answer. And next is another question about webcam. Does Nisai allow webcam when students attend the extracurricular activities and skill up program? Examples, debate club, book club, or talk fest. So I think that Ms. Hazel will answer this question.
Yes. So yes, for sure. Yeah, I can say that for extracurricular activities with the Zoom meeting section, like talk fest, debate, book club, yes, the students are encouraged to turn on the camera, and we allow that. Yep. And we always encourage the students to turn on camera and turn on their microphone to freely share their idea. Yes. Yes, that's from me. That's all for me.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Hazel. So for another question, do Nisai have exam at the end of TGE term? So I wish Ms. Jade will answer this question.
So we don't have formal exams at the end of each term. The exams will be set depending on the course that the learners are studying. So for NS courses, so Key Stage 3 courses, there's no formal exams. Teachers may set assessments periodically throughout the year, just so that we can assess learning, see where the students are at, check if there's any areas for development that we might need to give them some support with, and then set them some kind of targets to move on with. For Key Stage 4 courses like GCSEs, there will be the formal exams at the end of the course, and the same with A-levels as well. But for Key Stage 3 courses, there are no exams. There may be assessments, teacher assessments, but no kind of formal exams that require an exam centre.
Thank you for Ms. Jade's answer. So for extracurricular activities, you mentioned that we need to fill the registration form. Are there always the space for students? I'm afraid that the club will be full and we cannot participate. So please answer this question, Ms. Hazel.
Oh, yes. And for this one, so I would like to clarify that it depends on the kind of activity as well. For example, the clubs in chill out zone. So it's just open to all, they are open to all the students, and the student can click join if they would like to join, because these are the clubs that are organized in a forum format. Yeah, so actually there's no limit to the number of students who can join. Yeah. But for the clubs with projects and the meeting Zoom section, so yes, so the student will need to fill in registration form and they need to go through a selection process. We're going to read the form and we're going to decide those who are suitable to the club basing on their interest, their experience, their compatibility and their commitment as well to the projects in the club. And then we're going to decide and announce who can be the members of the club for this term. So basically the registration form will be reopened termly at the beginning of the term, so new student can join as well. And yes, if currently for now, we will limit the number of students in club around 20, yes, for the clubs, yes, with the online meeting section, so that if they need to do the project, so it's more effective for them to work in group and for us to monitor them as well. Yeah. But for Youth Success and Talk Fest, so it is open, they are open to all, so no registration needed. Yeah, yes, that's all from me.
Thank you, Ms. Hazel, for the answer. So I received one question that, how do you generally decide tutor or form tutor for each student in Nisai Global School? I wish Ms. Jade to answer this question.
Yeah, so generally what happens is the UK students will be assigned a member of staff from the UK team, and international students will generally have their form tutor assigned to the international teaching team. I won't lie to you, the UK one, it's random. It's just a case of we look at the tutor group lists, see who has space, just so that we try and keep the tutor groups as evenly as possible, because it does take our staff a lot of time to look after their tutor group and to do the relevant checks and follow-ups, you know, and making sure that that student is okay. So it does take our staff a lot of time. So what we don't want to happen is for one member of staff to have lots of students, because a lot of the time the form tutors are teachers, so they have classes that you know that they need to teach. I ended up inheriting a tutor group last year. The student support team in the UK generally don't have tutor groups, but I agreed to take one on because we had a member of staff leave. But we do generally just kind of look at the list, see who has space, and then just allocate the student to that tutor group. It's not an exact science, it's random.
Well, thanks Thank you so much, Ms. Jade and Ms. Hazel, for your detailed information. Because of the limit of time, I believe that the event has come to end now. We would like to send our sincere thanks to all participants who joined the event today, and we hope to see you at the next event. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Have a lovely evening.